Ozzie, 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 oi. Ozzie is a friend of yours and he's a friend of mine.
G'day kids, Ozzie here. So we've learned a little bit about dancing, and how fun was that dance lesson with Steph? I hope you enjoyed it. Now we're going to enjoy a book together. It's called Giraffes Can't Dance, but let's find out if that's true. Giraffes Can't Dance, and it's by Giles Andreae and illustrated by Guy Parker-Rees. Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully bandy and his legs were rather thin. He was very good at standing still and munching shoots off trees, but when he tried to run around, he buckled at the knees. Look, he's fallen over. Now, every year in Africa, they hold the jungle dance, where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. And this year when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad, because when it came to dancing, he was really very bad. The warthogs started waltzing, and the rhinos rock and rolled. The lions danced a tango, which was elegant and bold. The chimps all did a cha-cha with a very Latin feel, and 8 baboons then teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. Gerald swallowed bravely and he walked towards the floor, but the lions saw him coming and they soon began to roar. "Hey, look at clumsy Gerald!" the animals all laughed. "Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool! Oh, Gerald, don't be daft." That is not a very nice thing to say, is it? Gerald just wants to enjoy the dancing and join in with the rest of the animals, doesn't he? Gerald simply froze up. He was rooted to the spot. "They're right," he thought. "I'm useless. Oh, I feel like such a clot." So he crept off from the dance floor and he started walking home. He'd never felt so sad before, so sad and so alone. Poor Gerald. Then he found a little clearing and he looked up at the sky. "The moon can be so beautiful," he whispered with a sigh. "Excuse me," coughed a cricket, who'd seen Gerald earlier on. "But sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song." There's a little cricket up there. "Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music is those branches in the breeze." So imagine that lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really want it to. With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin. Then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hooves had started shuffling, making circles on the ground. His neck was gently swaying and his tail was swishing round. Look, Gerald started dancing. He threw his arms out sideways and he swung them everywhere. Then he did a backward somersault and leapt up in the air. He's really getting into it now, isn't he? Gerald felt so wonderful. His mouth was open wide. "I am dancing! Yes, I'm dancing! I am dancing!" Gerald cried. Then one by one each animal who'd been there at the dance arrived while Gerald boogied on and watched him quite entranced. They shouted, "It's a miracle! We must be in a dream! Gerald's the best dancer that we've ever seen. Now all the animals are just in awe of Gerald and how good a dancer he is. How is it you can dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how. But Gerald simply twizzled round and finished with a bow. Then he raised his head and looked up at the moon and stars above. We all can dance, he said, when we find music that we love. What a great book, kids, and a really important lesson, because it doesn't really matter what other people think. Just like Gerald, just find your own music, find your own rhythm, and dance like no one's watching. Kids, I hope you enjoyed it and you learnt lots. We'll see you on the next video, and until then, stay keen.
Ozzie, 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 oi. Ozzie is a friend of yours and he's a friend of mine.
G'day kids, Ozzie here. So we've learnt lots about ballet, and we even did a really good class with Steph from My Tiny Dancer. Did you guys enjoy that? I know I did. Who would have thought that Ozzie can do ballet? This book here is called Dogs Don't Do Ballet, but who knows, let's find out. Maybe, just like Ozzie, this dog actually can do ballet. Dogs Don't Do Ballet by Anna Kemp Sara Ogilvie. My dog is not like other dogs. He doesn't do dog stuff like weeing on lampposts or scratching his fleas or drinking out of the toilet. If I throw him a stick, he looks at me like I'm crazy, so I have to fetch it myself. No, my dog likes music and moonlight and walking on his tippy toes. You see, my dog doesn't think he's a dog. My dog thinks he's a ballerina. When I get ready for ballet class, he looks longingly at my tutu and ballet shoes, and I just know he's dreaming of his name in lights. Biff the dog wants to be a ballerina. He wants to be on stage, doesn't he? Dad, I say, can Biff come too? He loves ballet. Not a chance, says Dad. Dogs don't do ballet. Then, one Saturday, on my way to class, I get a funny feeling. A funny feeling that I'm being watched. A funny feeling that I'm being followed. Have a look up here. Is that Biff hiding behind the newspaper? And is that Biff, again, following the little girl and hiding behind the tree? I think it is. When Miss Polly is teaching us a new routine, I think I see something peeking in at the window. Something with a wet nose. Something with a wet tail. Right, girls, says Miss Polly. Who's going to demonstrate first position? We learnt first position in the other video with Steph, didn't we? But before anyone can step forward, there is a loud bark from the back of the hall and something furry rushes to the front. What is this? Asks Miss Polly, peering over her glasses. This, I say, is my dog. Well, take it away at once, says Miss Polly, wrinkling up her nose. Dogs don't do ballet. My poor dog stops wagging his tail and his ears droop down at the ends. Look how sad he is. He just wants to do ballet, doesn't he? I take my dog home and give him a bowl of doggy donuts, but he won't touch them. He just stays in his kennel for days and days, and at night he howls at the moon because he's just really, really sad and upset. For my birthday, I get tickets for the Royal Ballet. Can Biff come too? I asked Dad. He loves ballet. My dog pricks up his ears and wags his tail. No, says Dad. If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. Dogs don't do ballet. As we wait for the bus, I think about my poor old dog, all on his own, howling at the moon. Then I get a funny feeling. Is that Biff? A funny feeling that I'm being watched. There's Biff. A funny feeling that I'm not alone. That's because Biff, the cheeky little puppy dog, has followed her again. The ballet is magical. The orchestra plays as the prima ballerina dances and prances and twirls and whirls and skips and what? What happens? Oh no, she trips. Disaster, calamity. It's all over, I think. But somebody doesn't think it is over. No, somebody thinks it is just beginning. Somebody with big black eyes, somebody with pointy ears, somebody wearing my tutu. The audience gasps. Oh, it's a dog! Someone shouts, "Dogs don't do ballet!" My dog turns bright red and looks at his feet. "That's what I've always said," Dad mutters. But then the orchestra starts to play. This is the orchestra down here. All these people playing music that the dancers dance to. And my dog dances like no dog has ever danced before. Plie, jeté, arabesque, pirouette. We've learnt some of those words, haven't we, in our dancing class with Steph. He is as light as a sugar puff, as pretty as a fairy. The audience can't believe it. "Hooray!" I shout. "That's my dog!" When the music stops, my dog gives a hopeful curtsy and blinks nervously into the spotlight. The theatre is so very quiet that you could hear a bubble pop. Then the lady in the front row stands up. "Oh, it's a dog!" she shouts. Biff's ears start to droop again. "A dog that does ballet!" she adds. "Bravo!" Suddenly, the whole audience cheers and throws bunches of roses. My dog glows pink with happiness. "I don't believe it," says Dad, shaking his head. "Biff is a ballerina after all." "See," I say proudly, ruffling Biff's ears. "Dogs do ballet. Bravo, Biff!" How good's that? So there you go, kids. How good's that? Little Biff doesn't look like a ballerina, and people probably think he shouldn't be doing ballet, but when people get to see him do it, they realise he's actually really, really good. Just like Ozzie. You never know until you have a try. You might really enjoy it, and you might actually be really good at it. Kids, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learnt lots. We'll see you again on our next video, and until then, stay keen. Make sure you get a grown-up to help you hit subscribe. That way, you won't miss out on any of the new videos that come out. And did you happen to find the hidden Ozzie icon in that video? Make sure you look really closely because they're in every single video. And we'll see you again soon. Until then, stay keen. Don't forget to follow Ozzie on our social channels at Ozzie for Kids. Feel free to send us some ideas on what you want to learn about next, what sports you'd like to play, jobs you want Ozzie to feature, vehicles you're fascinated with, or any subjects you'd like to know more about. I'm just as keen as you, so together, let's learn more. And if you've got any friends that you think might like Ozzie, don't forget to tell them too. See you next time, kids. Until then, stay keen.
Ozzie, 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 oi. Ozzie is a friend of yours and he's a friend of